whole bunch of stuff. They got to deal with the world, minority. You dealing with racism. You dealing with working and being treated and all this stuff, and then you come home, and home is supposed to be your peace. This is why men sit in their car for 5 minutes or 20 minutes before they come in. They're trying to decompress before they come in. They're praying, Lord, I didn't have a good day today, but when I go into this house, I want to have peace. Even if it's just peace for just for what, 10, 15 minutes, just to go in, relax for a minute, have peace. But sometimes when as soon as you get in that house, it's it goes crazy. Scripture talks about a man rather be on the rooftop than a woman that's always in his ear. But that's the man sometimes also wants to think before he talks, or he doesn't want to say the first thing that comes out of his mouth. And when he says the first thing that comes out of his mouth, then it causes a whole argument. We got to understand men take a minute, some men take a minute to process because they want to say the right things and not make it worse than it already is.
And when you said that, when you, as soon as you walk in the door, you hit with 1,000 questions, and they want the answers right away. And we try not to react off emotions. So
Mm-hmm.
something, the first thing come out of our mouth is, "Woman, sit your butt down somewhere." Then all of a sudden, it takes a whole new different turn. But when a man sit down and process all that and then reacts to it,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes the person you're reacting to wants it instantly. He don't.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want you to think about it. They want your honest answer. No, you don't. You don't know what's. Give me a chance to process what you just said, because there's a right and wrong way to
Right.
answer a question.
Mm-hmm. Yes, there is. And um, we have to remember that I told someone this: soft words drive away wrath.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times, if we just use soft words, we're able to de escalate the situation.
Yeah.
But when we're nitpicked and like that little chihuahua that's at your ankles and biting, 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 and then you finally blow up. But, Proverbs 15:1, a soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger. This is why it's so important to say, hey, I have an understand with your spouse, your communication. Hey, I need 15 minutes before we discuss it. I just came in from work. I've been did my bosses on me about something that wasn't even my fault. Let me go ahead and get 15 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. Let me think about what you said. Let me decompress. Let me get my words together. And then when I come to you, it's going to be a soft words. It's not going to be angry, because if you keep coming at me, then it's angry. Now we got two angry people
Mm-hmm.
arguing with each other. One person's sleeping on the couch tonight, the other person's sleeping in the bed tonight. But
Yeah.
you have to understand that we have to let the words not be so irate, but the words to be soft. And another thing on that, just because a man is soft in his words, doesn't not mean he's not hearing you. Because our parents, especially our dad had that tone. Dad had the, all right, now you knew what dad meant. So we have to watch our tone sometimes. And then sometimes our tone can be misinterpreted as we don't care. But
Yeah.
we're trying to say, we're trying to say, let me think about it so I can make sure I give you a proper answer. Because if you just keep
Mm-hmm.
coming at me, I'm going to give you the straightest answer I got. And you ain't going to like it. And then there's
Yeah.
going to be more problems.
You're like, no, get away from me.
Me.
So I want to go to day 4.
Okay.
We were talking about that. This was interesting to me. The silent anger.
Oh,
We touched on it a little bit right now, but that silent anger. Ooh, I knew a lot of men. Well, we would sit down and talk sometime. Man, my wife get on my last nerve, but I don't say anything. I'm steaming. I'm so upset. And
right.
then all of a sudden, one's in jail and one's in the hospital. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? So that's
Mm-hmm.
silent anger. I think you got that scripture out of Ephesians 4:26.
Mm-hmm.
And I read that. That show goes together.
Mm-hmm.
That right there goes together. So touch on that silent anger.
Oh, that is one of the topics. Oh, goodness. Mm. First, I'm gonna go ahead and read it. Wherefore, no, 26. Got the wrong one up. Be ye angry and sin not. Let not the sun go down upon your wrath. So here, people say, well, you can't be angry, but it means God is not saying don't be angry. He's saying don't let anger control you and don't carry it into tomorrow. Men, when we get angry, it carries on to the next day. You don't talk to your spouse for 5 days. You are quiet for 5 days because it's a silent anger, because you know if it comes out, it's going to explode. Um, we have men have to learn how to express it, and that's why it's so important to have that soft words when you're expressing. Hey, this is how this makes me feel. Even in that conversation, hey, I can't talk about it right now. Give me a minute. When you, like we started earlier, when it keeps coming, then the anger comes up. Um, but we gotta open up, and that silent, and then it carries on to our children,
Mm-hmm.
because now we take out things on our children because we're carrying that silent anger. We're carrying that silent anger at work. We're taking it out on coworkers, or we're taking it out on people, or we're taking it out. But it's like silent anger is that rubber band. I like to use the example of a rubber band. When that rubber band begins to stretch and stretch and stretch and stretch and stretch and stretch, and then finally the tension is so tight that it snaps. And then this is where men become, uh, they snap, depending on how you are. This is how you got to be careful who you marry. But you got to know these things. But I'm gonna use this as an example. This is what happens. I want to deal with. I had a journal prompt that says, "Why am I still angry about that I haven't said out loud, even to God?" This is what happens to a lot of us. It seems every time I'm getting my life together, everything is getting in order, and then it comes crashing down. The job I had decides to close down. My marriage is going good. Something happens. You come out of pocket. You um, and as you come out of pocket, it changes things. So you have a silent anger that still hurts you. You don't let it go. And if you don't let, this is why it's so important to talk about it, because you got to be around a group of men that understand it. You got to be around a group that says, "Hey, I understand how it is," and have that group. We've gone to where men are supposed to hold it in, but they don't tell anybody else about it. A man could be losing his wife, his family, losing his job, losing his house, everything around him is going crazy. And you ask him, "Hey, Ron, how are you doing?" "I'm fine. I'm okay." But on the inside, they're dealing with that silent anger, and it's destroying everything. This is why men struggle. If they don't have that opportunity to open up, they're going to struggle. And then it's going to explode, and it's going to explode wrong. And it can
Yeah.
explode so bad that things cannot be repaired.
That point right there. You know, it's funny you said that because day 12 goes along to me goes I'm like I'm reading the Bible. I'm going from one place to the other. But when you said that and then on day 12, when I'm tired of being strong, To
Mm-mm.
me, that relates to what we just talked about. So
Mm-hmm.
now the man is tired of being strong. That's out of Psalm 73:26.
Mm-hmm.
And we do get to the point that I say, when is enough. Everybody's be dependent on me to be strong and do that. Who's going to help me?
Mm-hmm.
And then you get to the point you're just plain tired.
Mm-hmm.
I learned a long time ago watching people. They say, "You know what? I'm tired." Just don't say nothing to them. They don't mean to be angry or mad at you, but you reach a point in your life that day that I'm tired. I don't want to be bothered. Leave me alone. When a man says that to me, when a man says that, I'm tired, leave me alone, my personal opinion is he's leaving himself open for the devil.
Mm-hmm.
Because when he said he's tired, he's willing to let anything influence him at that time. That's just
Mm-hmm.
my opinion. That's how I see it, Craig.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. When the reflection of, well, first that scripture says, my flesh and my heart faileth. But what I want to do is I want to read the amplified version of that scripture. It says, my flesh and my heart may fail, but God is the strength of my heart and my portion forever. See, and then on the reflection is that even strong men run out. Wisdom is knowing where to go when you do, go to when you do, having other men to talk to. But first, we always, Matthew 6 and 33, seek ye first the kingdom of God. Go, you seek God, go seek God, pray, do what you need to do, but then seek somebody out that can help you. Seek somebody out that can help you mature. You know, we have this thing, huh, even when your body is tired and your heart feels done, God doesn't step back, He steps in. We got to remember that. So when you're weak, He becomes your strength. When you feel empty, He is enough. When life drains you, God remains your portion, not temporarily, but forever. And we forget those things because the pressure gets so much on us that we forget that God is our strength. And we have to seek out. So this is why it's important to have like coffees with men. This is
Yes.
why we need to have dinners with men. You know, back when I was in Michigan, we had something called our men's breakfast every first Saturday of the month. And we would come in, everybody brought food, everybody brought something to eat. We sat down, fellowship, introduced ourselves to each other. Then I would have a speaker talk on a topic, like what does it mean? You know, I'm okay. What does that really mean? Or whatever they may deal with. So a different topic. And then after that, we would have what I call the open forum. And I would say, does anybody have anything that they want to talk about or discuss? And we had from 20-year-olds up to 80 something year olds. So we had a group of wisdom that was in there. And people would just start, hey, some people opened up later, but some people were like, hey, I lost my job. I don't know how to tell my family I lost my job, or I'm about to lose uh, my house, or whatever. And they're able to help. And some of the people are like, hey, come see me. My job is hard. But just that opportunity to be able to talk and not feel judgment,
Yeah.
to be able to say, hey, I'm dealing with this. And we're like, oh, you know, if you was a man, you would have all this stuff together. And you know, and men sometimes just need to be we need to learn we can vent sometimes. It's not that we're making excuses. We just want to vent for a minute. We vent, okay, all right, now I'm ready to keep walking. But it gave the men the opportunity to be able to talk about what they were going through. We had a gentleman in there dealing with cancer, you know, and they're praying for him and they're going remission. Also, we had a gentleman one time talk about, hey, he didn't know if he wanted to be here anymore.
Mm.
And all names are private for that particular reason.
Yeah.
You know, and that's another thing. If men don't feel safe to go into that group, if your man goes into a men's group in your church and you say something and then he gets out in the street, you have just destroyed that man's trust. And guess what? He won't trust anybody else.
Exactly.
And then he's going to carry all this hurt, that silent anger, that pain until it just finally explodes. And then we're trying, I don't know what happened to Mike. He just went off the deep end. He don't come to church no more. He don't do nothing no more. He don't like to talk. And that's another thing we have to watch out for. This is a sign when men stop doing the things they like to do.
Yeah.
So I said, Ron, when you doing your radio station? Well, I
Mm.
don't, I don't know when I'm gonna do my radio station again. That's a red flag. That is a wait. Hold on. Wait a minute. What's going on? This is where we need to step up as brothers and say, hey, what's going on? Let's meet for coffee. What's going on?
Yeah.
Because Ron don't want to do the radio station. Oh no, there's some. Or if your husband's game, or if he likes to hunt, and all of a sudden he stops. That's a sign, a red flag that he is going silent, and that silent anger is building up.
Mm. You know, you were talking about wisdom and how we get things. I was just thinking about that. My grandfather was an avid fisherman, and I started fishing a little bit, well, a lot of bit. And then my uncle was a master electrician, and that's where I got doing things by electrical work because I still got my electrician license. My dad always pushed me to do work around the house, how to do the hedges, how to cut the yard, how to paint. So he instilled that in me and doing things like that. And we don't have that nowadays. I had 3 generations show me things. All men show me things. And that's what we're lacking nowadays. That's not even a generation showing these kids what to do. Women, don't get me mad, but don't get mad at me. But your child needs a mentor. If the daddy's not in that life, he needs to be somewhere to learn what a man does, because you can only teach him so much. And that's where some of this fall into play at that. Um, Women saying, well, I could teach my boy how to be a man. And they look at her straight in the face. No, you can't.
Mm-hmm.
You can't. There's no way you do it. And on the flip side of that is that cycle has to be broken where there's no man in these child's lives.
Mm-hmm.
And I was watching something one day and they broke it down, Craig. So if your grandmother was not married anymore, then your daughter followed that same cycle, not married, have kids, and now you're doing the same thing. That cycle has to be broken so along the line. So not only do we need help, they need
Mm-hmm.
help on that side.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know how we could put those two together because actually they go hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you think about it, in order to be a good husband, somebody got to show you how to be a husband.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it just ain't wrote on, here we go, how to be a good husband. Number one. No. You need to
Mm-hmm.
have some elders that could show you, like I said, through church. They need to show you what a man need to do. Ladies say chivalry is dead. No, it's not. I
Mm-hmm.
open the car doors. I open up doors. I do things for a lady. But I told my wife, I told you bring a jacket. If you didn't bring it when you want mine, I'm cold too. You ain't getting mine. But you know, things like that that we were, let's go. I'm all over the place. But I want to go when movies were out. They
Mm-hmm.
showed a man laying a coat down over a puddle, and
Mm-hmm.
I can't figure that one out myself. But they did things like that. They opened the door for the woman. They did things for a woman. Nowadays, I think that a woman express they don't need a man.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want a man. I could do everything by myself.
Mm-hmm.
And heard what I said, by myself.
Mm-hmm.
And now you are by yourself because of you saying, I got the job, I got the car, I got the house, I got the money. Why do I need a man? And that's where the man come into play when they find a woman like that. I'm sorry. They don't know how to handle that woman. So so she's got all this power. She's got everything she want.
Mhm.
So now she think she meet a man, she could change this man in her image.
Mhm.
And I'm hitting on her image. Okay, what is your image of a man? Was
Mhm.
your father in your life? What
Mhm.
is the image? And they come up, Craig, I done heard some stories, and I'm telling you, I am still shocked of some of the stories I hear on how they want a man to be.
Mhm.
And I can't figure out, leave him alone.
Mhm.
He know what it is to be a man. I know we
Mhm.
got sidetracked off that, but all this is coming in my head and everything. So I hope these ladies are listening out there. I'm not badgering you. I just want you to open up your eyes and see what a man goes through daily. It's hard being a man.
Mhm. A lot of people want that man to be perfect. A lot of people want that man not to make mistakes. I was talking, actually, me and Joseph was talking about some of this stuff today. I can't talk to a man unless he makes six figures.
Mm,
What are you bringing to the table? You know, I need to have my nails done. I need to have this done. I don't want to work and all the rest of that stuff. So we got to get, we got to quit looking at the man as the uh, the provider only. And if he's not providing, he's not the man that he needs to be. If he's not doing this, he's not a man. If he's not doing this, he's not a man.
yeah.
Men carry a lot of weight. Men hold on to scriptures. If a man can't take care of his house, his own house,
Mm-hmm.
they're holding on to that. Then they're holding on to keep up with the Joneses.
Oh, yes.
So that man he's taking a family here, here, here. But you don't understand the debt that that person is putting that person into. You may not understand all the other stuff. See, a lot of people look at people's marriages from the outside and see all the stuff they're doing. Oh man, that's the perfect man. He does this and this. And when something happens, man, we thought they were the perfect couple.
Mm-hmm.
We thought, man, we ain't never seen them argue. We ain't never seen them do nothing. They're always smiling and having a smile on his face. Yes.
Yep.
Man, there's song, this guy named Dax. He has this song talking about men. He says, he made a comment that only unconditional love is only for the children and dogs,
Mm.
and has to prove in order to get that reciprocal of love. Because if he's not
Wow.
providing, he's not the man he needs to be. See, men will love to to the end. Men
Yeah.
will work. Their leg needs to be amputated, but they can't go to the doctor because if they go to the doctor, the doctor's gonna say you need to take time off. A true man of God, a true man is gonna do whatever he can to do for his family
Mm-hmm.
while silently killing himself to make sure everybody else is happy. Like the phrase, happy wife, happy life.
Mm-hmm.
For a man, he's making everybody happy to keep peace in the home. But silently, he's killing himself, and that silent anger is building up
Yeah.
because there's so much fear. Like in day 11, it's just the fear of failing. Because when we fail, it's like a whole weight, a ton of bricks fell on us when we failed as husbands. We're already hard enough on ourselves.
You right about that.
When we fail and we don't do, or we don't do something right, or we're harder on ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Our wives can get on us and da da, but we are harder on ourselves. And when we become harder on ourselves, it's like cancer. It starts eating away at our emotions. And
Yeah.
then we become a robot. Hi, honey. How are you? Good, good. You had a good day? Yes, I had a good day. Let's talk about your day. But it's no emotions with it. It's just I'm going through the motions
Yeah.
because I failed and I don't want to fail again because I know if I fail again, I'm going to be told I'm no good. I'm going to be told, see, you're
Hmm.
not, you don't amount to nothing. So the man fears a lot because he fears of what was going to be said about him. And
That's
whatever
it.
said about him makes him feel worse than the person that's telling him because he's like, this is why a lot of men commit suicide higher than men have a higher suicide rate than women.
Mm. See, and that's some deep stuff. When you was talking about, we were talking about anger and all that. I think the first time me and my wife got into a discussion, I'm gonna leave it at discussion, and we were talking, and she said, "You're not mad at me?" I said, "No, no, I'm more disappointed in you than mad at you." You know, she said, I'd rather for you to be mad at me than disappointed. Disappointed hurts more than being mad. I said, really? I didn't know that. I'm disappointed in you again. You know, and she knows that because I don't blow up. I leave that
Right.
alone. I went through that. I went
Mm-hmm.
through all that. It doesn't do anything but make you say something that you really want to say, but you don't mean to say it.
Mm-hmm.
And it eats at you inside and it's not healthy. So
Mm-hmm.
I use the word I'm disappointed. And I'm talking
Mm-hmm.
just like this, no yelling, no nothing. But one thing I did do years ago when I was dating this one lady, she was a firecracker. I mean, it was nothing I could do right. I tried to talk to her, she cut me off. So you know what I did? I emailed her everything that I felt. She got the email and read it. She said, that was a very harmful email. I said, no more than the way you yelling at me and cussing me out.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I put everything down on paper for you to read it. She read it, she read it, she read it several times, and then she came back. Am I really like that? Yes, and worse. I didn't put the
Mm-hmm.
worst of you in there. But she learned from me. Then I kept on sending her emails. When she wouldn't let me talk, I sent her an email. You know,
Mm-hmm.
eventually she understood where I was going, where I was coming from, but I also knew in my heart I couldn't be in this toxic relationship.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that was it. I that was it. So sometimes men gotta say enough is enough,
Mm-hmm.
which brings me on to day 13. See, I'm good. I'm just leading up to that one, and that is the hidden grief,
Mm.
and that's in
Oh.
and that's in Psalms 34:18.
Mm.
So my hidden grief at that time was she would badger me, talk about, and I just took it. I just took it until I started writing those emails
Mm-hmm.
to her. And that sort of opened up a little bit because I was I really liked this lady, but she was coming
Mm-hmm.
at me hard. And you know, it's a time when you gotta say enough is enough and walk away.
Mm-hmm.
But it's that walk away part that people don't understand that hurts the worst.
Mm-hmm.
And that's that grief part. So the hidden grief is there. So you wanna
Mm-hmm.
go over that a little bit. I think I hit you a little sideways on that one, didn't I?
That's all right. That's all right. That's all right. So the scripture is Psalms 34:18. The Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. So the reflection on that one was grief unprocessed. We have to process our grief as I specialize in grief and loss. Um, but we have to process it. Uh, we have to acknowledge what we're dealing with when we're dealing with grief. Um, because when we don't process, it builds up to everything else. It builds up to that silent anger. It builds up to abuse. It builds up to drinking. It builds up to drugs. It builds up to all that. So grief unprocessed becomes anger.
Mm.
we got to go to digress just a minute. Right now, I did a thing on Facebook post talking about people, how to help people dealing with grief and loss. So if you have dad there that lost mom and he's at the dinner table and he looks to the right or he looks across the table where mom used to be and he gets up and walks into another room, that's not the time to go to him and go, you need to come back into the other room. We know mom's down. We know mom. We miss her too. But no, let him grieve, because if it's not, it's unprocessed, then he's going to start going off. Take me home. I don't even know why I'm here. I don't even know why everybody's here. And
Mm-hmm.
along with that, it becomes anger, then isolation. Hey, call dad. Dad hasn't picked up the phone in 2 days or 3 days. Dad doesn't want to be bothered. So we have to be careful with the hidden grief, because uh, this is why it's so important for men to have that opportunity to open up. As it says, God is near to the brokenhearted. And then also it says in the journal prompt, I put, what loss have I never truly grieved? I'm gonna post that question right now. What loss have I not truly grieved? See, you can't grieve anything without losing. Be real.
Yeah.
Came down here with helping a friend of mine with a process medical thing. That's another show. But I moved down here without my family. So right now, I do not have my wife. I do not have my grandkids. I do not have my daughter. I don't have my children. And it's holiday season.
Mm.
This is the first, we've been married over about 33 years. This is the first year I will be missing Thanksgiving and Christmas with my family.
Wow.
That's a hidden grief.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else, let's go, and people don't understand, hey, let's go to this Christmas party. Let's go to this. It's fine and dandy, but guess what? Everybody else has their family and their spouse, and what do I have? Don't get me wrong, I love where I am, but just having that companion looking to my left or looking to my right when I wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
So I really truly have to hold on to God, because I can become very sensitive. I can snap. I have to watch myself, because when people are like, "Well, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to be part of this, you need to be part of that," and I'm like, at the moment, I'm really not mentally there. My outside is smiling. My outside is cordial. My outside is lovely. But the inside, I have tears. On the inside, I have pain. On the inside, I don't know what to do with it. But I have to understand that they will be here sooner or later. Wife will come down and visit in about 3 weeks, and then we'll get ready to move back down here. But that's like that hidden grief.
Yeah.
And the discussion question was, how does acknowledging grief deepen healing? I hope someone's listening that is dealing with anything similar, or you may not. But you have to acknowledge it and say, hey, this is what I'm dealing with. And once you acknowledge it, then the grief can begin the healing process. We hold on to things too long and we can't heal.
Right.
Hold on to the loss because, the worst, to me, this is in my opinion, the worst loss is the loss of a child, because it disrupts the process. We expect mom and dad to go first because they're older. But the loss of a child or a loss, you say a loss of a loved one too, you've been with for years, but that loss of that child because you don't get to see that child grow. You had so many expectations for that child. You were, man, I can't wait till this young man or young woman grows up and then I'm gonna have grandkids. And then it's taken away. So you have to acknowledge. Also, I tell people, some people get into when someone close to them dies, they get so busy taking care of everybody else,
Yes.
they don't take care of themselves. I tell people, you need to take a day or a weekend to mourn, not with anybody else, but you need to take time to mourn. You need to take time to cry. You need to take time to talk to God so you can begin your healing process. But if it stays hidden, like we took the rubber band, it will stretch and stretch, and then you will never be able to have a good relationship with anybody. So I don't know who that was for, but that was part of my story. So
Well, that's good. And you know I got something to go with that.
go ahead.
I'm going down. We were talking about grieving, and for some reason I turned it back to day 7.
Uh huh.
Temptations and triggers.
Mm
Because when you're in that grieving process, the temptation is always out there.
hmm. Mm
It's
hmm.
there. That's in 1 Corinthians 10:13.
Mm hmm.
And when I was reading that, um, believe it or not, this is just my opinion, men are tempted every day.
Mm hmm. Yeah.
We are tempted to do things we should not do.
Mm hmm.
And what triggers that? Anything could trigger it.
Mm hmm.
Let's say your wife got mad at you and said you're not a real man and all that stuff, and so your temptation come up seeing that little sweetheart walking down the street. You want to go talk to her because you want to feel like a man, and maybe she
Mm
can
hmm.
make you
Right.
feel like a man.
Right.
So that temptation and the triggers are there, and that's one thing they got to understand. Men fight that every day. It doesn't have to be sexual.
Right. Yeah.
It doesn't have to. Let me get that out of the way. It just could be the need of somebody to listen to you. It just could be the need of being noticed or being appreciated.
Oh.
I hit that nerve.
Ooh.
Appreciated.
That's a topic alone because when you brought up real man and appreciated,
Yeah.
a man doesn't feel appreciated. Nothing you say for a while is going to lift him back up because
Mm-hmm.
you said out of your mouth, you are not a real man. Well, I'm not a real man. So you're thinking I'm not a real man. Hold on, wait a minute. I'm working all these hours, taking care of myself, taking care of the family, doing all this stuff, coming home, doing all this, and I'm not a real man. Oh, you've just caused that man to go to silent anger. You've
Mm.
caused that man to um, go into depression. You have caused that man to uh, start thinking other ways. You caused that man to say, I don't feel like being home today. I'm gonna work extra hours so I don't have to be home. And you talked about something earlier. This is how the enemy see the enemy and the devil and the enemy or the demons are always against family. So if I can get the husband to feel like he's not a real man, this gives me that opportunity. There's that kink in that armor. Because he feels that soon as he walks in that house, he is no longer the king of the house. He is a second class citizen. And the enemy comes in and now begins to pick and kink at the armor to see other things. Oh, you're not a real man. Oh, well, then he's talking to somebody at work and, oh man, yeah, you doing all that? That's what a real man should do. But the person you are with is telling you not a real man, and then this is where it starts to mess men up because when they don't when they're not appreciated and what that goes into that, oh my goodness. What do you mean you're not appreciating what I do? Do you know all the stuff I got to deal with? Do you know I don't like the job I'm working at? Do you know like and what I'm doing to make sure men's meet? You know, I'm doing side hustles. I'm doing this. I'm doing this, and then I'm not appreciated.
Yep.
Oh, you have just taken that man. If he was up here, you've taken that man all the way down to he doesn't even want to communicate about what he feels.
Yep.
So that's it on that.
Yeah, I tell you, you appreciate. Yeah, that's one. Man, that's three shows. Cause it goes all over the place. Cause I was with somebody. I'm going about my past, and this is how I figured out what I need to be doing. She was not appreciating the things that I brought. Now anybody know I could work on anything.
Mm-hmm.
And this young lady, I was up north at the time. She had a house. She had some things going on. I went in there and started fixing things for her and all this. And then it got to the point that she would call me and say, Ron, this is broke over here. And I said, when you gonna call and ask me out on, let's go out on a date or something? I became her repairman, and that was it. We were dating. At least I thought we were dating. And then I jumped and said, well, I'm done. She said, what you mean? I said, I can't come over and fix it. I can't do it. Well, why not? You always fixed it for me. I said, well, I can't do it anymore. She said, why is that? Well, the last time I was over there, you was talking to this one guy going out on a date, and I thought we were dating. Oh, so you thought that we was exclusive? Well, I'm your exclusive repairman. You know, it's things like that that I think that God prepared me for the wife I'm with right now, because
Mm-hmm.
I had to go through some trials and tribulations and understand what my worth is, and that's the
Mm-hmm.
key, right? I just said another word, worth,
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of people don't realize what their worth is, and a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people don't realize we all have a gift,
Mm-hmm.
but you have to cultivate that gift.
Mm-hmm.
God give you a gift, you use that gift. Well, my gift is using what I'm doing, and I'm gonna say it right now. Before Craig even knew, Joseph turned around and called me the Black MacGyver. And I'll say, what?
Ah.
But it's things like that, because uh, um, people like Joseph and others, they see my worth. And Joseph will always say, well, I didn't want to call you. You call me anyway. I'll come on over there. I was over
Mm-hmm.
there recently and did something. It was like in and out. You
Right.
know, and a lot of men got to know their worth. I'm gonna leave it
Mm-hmm.
at that. You got to know your worth, not only to other people, but what is your worth to you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I'm just talking now because I'm getting riled up and we're about ready to run out of time. So before we do that, let's get back to your book and tell everybody about your book and how they can get a hold of it.
They can go to Amazon. It's on Amazon. It's in the paperback form, and also it is on Kindle, so you can download it. $7.99 to download it, e-download it, and $12.99 for the book. It's powerful. It is something that even as I go through it, I'm like, ooh, I need to re-examine some things myself. But it's good for just conversation. It's good for men's groups. And if a woman wants to buy it, read it. Just gives you the opportunity to you and your husband can buy it. You both have your own, and you read it, and then it allows for open communication. So this is how this feels. This is how you feel. so we can open up a dialogue, and dialogue that is going to hurt, because when you read stuff and you open up, guess what? You may find some things about your husband that you really never knew and understood.
That
And he may be finding some stuff out about you he never really understood. But it gives that opportunity for you guys to talk about it and begin the healing process. Um, so they can get that, or gifts, dad, brother, brother-in-law, men at church, whoever you feel, say, hey, buy some and gift them. Hey, I mean, I've ordered books and just talk to brothers and be like, hey, how you doing? And they give me, I'm okay, but their face says something else. I go, here, this is for you. And it's about healing. It's about healing. It's about getting, as the thing says, a 30-day devotional journey for men ready to heal, rebuild, and rise again. Because many men, we need to rise again as men and understand it's okay to talk about things that we were taught never to talk
that is so true, and give it to anybody. I'm gonna mess with you because if I'm right, is this the only book you have out right now?
It's the only one I have on there. I have one on PayHip, but that one is for entrepreneurs.
Okay, all right. So we're going to get you, Joseph, Martha, and a few others on at the same time because y'all have a powerhouse together right there.
Hmm.
I mean, you get all y'all together, you're looking at well over 100 years of experience and wisdom.
You said 100
Yes,
years.
100. You look at all the things y'all doing, it's probably past 100 years. But each time I talk to each one of you, I learn something new every day.
Hmm.
Because Joseph be breaking things down, and that's why I like talking to y'all because y'all break things down in layman terms that we don't need to get a freaking lawyer to decipher what y'all trying to say. I don't need no interpreter. I'm talking to the
Right, right,
main
right.
people right here. And when y'all can
Hmm.
break things down like that, and what I love about it, each and every one of y'all are spiritually based.
Hmm.
No, y'all quote that Bible like it's no tomorrow. And people need that. Where you get that
Hmm.
from? The Bible.
Hmm.
You know, don't ban that book. That book you're gonna need. They banning books, history. Don't ban that book. We already in trouble as it is right now, the way the climate is. But
Right, right, right.
going back to church, going to church, we also did church hurt. Oh, when we did
Hmm.
church hurt,
Oh,
I
don't
had
say it.
I had so many
Don't
problems.
say it. Don't say it. Don't say it.
But I have faith right now because I'm over that hump now. I'm over that hump. Bring it, bring it, bring it. But we have to talk about things in spiritual level to people to understand. And
Hmm.
and it's one word that I do not like, and
Hmm.
that's complicated. When you
Hmm.
talk to somebody say it's complicated, no, it's not. You're making it complicated. It was a yes or no question. When they say it's complicated, that just chaps my butt when I hear that. It's not complicated. You making it complicated. This book is not complicated. It tells you in here. It lets you know. So complication is out. And one other thing I want to point out something that you said, and you're so true about that. When you ask somebody how you doing, I'm okay. That answer right there knows they're not okay.
Hmm.
It isn't the way you say it or anything. When they say, I'm okay. Like if you
Hmm.
ask me, how's the radio station, you're going to say, it's all right. Ron, what's going on? I should say, man, the radio station's running great. I got guests coming on left and right. I'm having a field day. And I am
Hmm.
having a field day. But when somebody said, it's okay, isn't that like a cry out to continue asking me what's going on? Help me?
Hmm. But we're afraid to dig deeper, just like you brought up complicated. The reason some people say it's complicated because it's going to stir up feelings that they're not ready to talk about yet.
Mm.
So some people use it as an excuse. But some people use it as it's complicated because now you got me talking about, you're going to have me talk about stuff I'm not ready to talk about yet.
Mm.
So it's complicated that I talk about the abuse I went through. It's complicated because it was my dad.
Yeah.
It's complicated to talk about it because we already said it. So because I was church hurt, but I'm going to call it misused authority.
I like that.
And it's going to, and then that, so complicated, yes, it can be words that is like, ooh, but then also it's complicated for someone to say, hey, my son committed suicide and he didn't leave a note. So if I got to
Mm.
bring that up, it's complicated because now I have to relive, what does still hard to healing. But if a person does, it's never that that hidden grief, if they've
Yeah.
never opened up to it, we got to give people the space, invite them over for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Invite them over for dinner, get them to relax, get them to, then you go, hey, how things are going? Because if you confront people right then and there, they're going to shut down.
Exactly.
You know, before Jesus talked to the people, what did he do? He fed them first.
Mm-hmm.
When you feed somebody, it shows you care about them. Then when the person feels that you care about them, they'll begin to open up things that they haven't opened up. Because people said to me, I don't know why I'm opening up to you about all this stuff. I don't never talk. You know, it'd be somebody at the eyeglass store and I'll just be talking. I don't know why I'm opening up because I ask specific questions.
Mm-hmm.
And when you ask specific questions, you know, we got up 4 minutes. So like when I do Walmart, I do deliveries
Yeah.
and there's people in there and I'll be like, hi, how you doing? And then face it. I'm like, you ain't gonna smile. You see me talking to you. And then they start laughing. And then,
Yeah.
but I understand that they deal with a lot of people who are ungrateful and stuff like that. But
Mm-hmm.
I want to get them to laugh and smile because smiling, laughter does the heart
Yeah.
well. So we gotta laugh, we gotta smile, and also we gotta love each other. No matter how mad they make you, no matter what they do to you,
Mm-hmm.
you gotta remember out of all the junk, all the stuff you did, God has forgiven you.
Right.
You gotta forgive other people. You know, Scripture talks about pray for them that despitefully use you, treated you bad. Pray for them, because you never know. One day, that person may come back to you and say, "I'm sorry."
Yeah. Let me share something with you that I think is, I don't know what to say. I was sick last year this time, and I was out of bowling for about a couple months. So when I went back bowling, they said, "Oh, man, we're glad you're back. Now we can tell you what we call you behind your back." I said, "What? What you mean call me?" They call me the Good Rev. I
Uh,
said, I said, "Why y'all call me that? You always come in here, you talk to people, you praise them, and we never heard you cuss."
hmm
Oh, so now I'm a reverend because of that? Yes. So on my bowling league, I'm called a Good Rev. So I'm on a Zoom call about 2 weeks ago, and it's the gospel fleet that I'm on with, and they had an event going on, so we were talking, and so I said something. Is that Pastor Ron? I said, who said I was a pastor? I said, it's DJ Ron G. Well, somebody said pastor. Who said pastor out here? And so we came to the end, and they said, we need somebody to close this out in prayer. Pastor Ron could do it. I said, I'm just Ron. I'm DJ Ron. So I went on and gave the prayer and closed things out. After everything's over, way to go, Bishop Ron. I said, how did I go from reverend to pastor to bishop? And they just sit there. They were serious too. They said, you conduct yourself as a man in God. I said, I am a man in God. No,
hmm
you is something about you that we see that's beyond that. So I
Right.
told a friend of mine who's a pastor. He said, well, you can always come to my church and get started. I said, I'm not asking for that. But it's funny when you walk with the Lord, people see you walking with them. They see things that you don't see.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy said, your calling could come at 1 years old. It could come at 80 years old. When that
Mm-hmm.
calling is coming, it's going to come. And it sounded to
Mm-hmm.
me, they're trying to pull you to come. But I said, but I ain't ready. He said, well, he'll let you know when you're ready. So I thought that was so ironic how I just go around, be myself every day. I'm not trying to be nobody. I'm just being
Right.
myself. And how
Right.
people see that in you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's scary or what.
When God's with you and you're doing stuff, God will show you. Like, my wife had sent me this video one time, and it's like, some people are called to pastor, and some people, but it's and not in the church.
Mm,
It could be to entrepreneurs. It could be to a group that you talk to every day. Whatever. It could be to a group of older men. That's your calling, and your calling is to just minister to them. A lot of people think just because you have the pastor or bishop title that you're going to be way up, but naturally also that can mean, hey, that now you have a men's group, or you may have a radio station men's Bible class,
hmm
and you're the leader of it.
Yeah,
So, but black folks, we like to tease people
I
with
know.
doctor and
I know.
bishop.
We always do that. We always do that. And for some reason, black folks always call you Doc. What's up, Doc?
Yeah, doc.
That ain't my name. I know exactly what you talk about because we do things and to understand us, they have to understand our culture. And I
Mm-hmm.
preach that a lot. I said we understand everybody's culture, but they don't understand ours. And some of us don't understand ours.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not sad to say is that we got to educate ourselves more. We have to go back to grassroots, what we used to do back in the 60s and 70s, because for real, we lost touch with it. The church used to be the beacon of the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
The church was a place everybody went to for community events and everything. It was there. It's gone now.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe in the bigger cities, but in the rural communities, the church is still the beacon. But
Mm-hmm.
you get to these big cities, San Antonio, Chicago, all these places right there, it's not the beacon like it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, sir, we appreciate you coming on,
All
and
right. Thank you for having
tell
me. I appreciate it.
tell people how they get a hold of you.
They can get a hold of me if they want to get a hold of me on Facebook, Craig Washington on Facebook. If you go to www.ggcsllc.net, they can get a hold of me on my Facebook page. So that's the easy. Or if you want to email me, it's pcw at ggcsllc.net. And that is it. So your next step matters. Let's take it together.
All right, sir, we appreciate you coming on today.